Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Thanks so much for joining me on my channel this week. Today we're going to do a fall project and I'm using lots of stencils here. A bike stencil, a tree stencil, this is some wallpaper, and then we have Sean Petit's new fall stencils, and this is a die set that I'm going to use also. You'll see what we're going to do. I'm going to work on an 8x10 3/4 inch thick MDF board, and here I'm just trying to decide if I want to go landscape or horizontal, or portrait, excuse me. I decide on doing it landscape, and here I'm just trying to figure out the placement. This tree I've had in my stash for quite a while, and wow, does it make an impact on this piece. Just ripping up some pieces of wallpaper that I had in my stash and creating a ground. And then I used this blue wallpaper to make the sky, and I wanted some music notes in the background just to show you what I was feeling. I was really feeling like, oh, go out and have a bike ride, and the trees, the leaves are changing. And it was just absolutely a beautiful fall day. It was a little warm, but I'm waiting for the cooler weather. We'll get there, all in due time. Putting down my papers with matte medium and a brush, and we will get that all covered up. And then I'm going to put down some gesso. This piece turned out really nice, I think. Here I have the gesso is dry, and I'm using my Marabou art crayons to add some more blue to the background and some brown to the dirt or the ground, and I'm using a wet brush with clean water. I'll list all the supplies in the description box below, of course, so you can see what I used, and you can also purchase through the links provided. It does not cost you anything extra. It just provides me with a tiny income stream to support my channel, and that money comes right from Amazon. So feel free if you need anything, or if you just need to look around. There's lots of goodies out there. This one is a distress crayon I was using with the brown. I didn't have a Marabou crayon in brown. Not yet, of course. There, looks like a great background. Now I'm going to make sure that's dry, and I'm going to do that big tree stencil. I'm going to use Archival ink and potting soil and my makeup brushes that I absolutely love. Make sure it's all dry. And oh, here I did a little bit of gesso through the stencil for the pumpkin. I wanted the two pumpkins to look like they were leaning up against the tree. So I wanted to put that little bit of gesso base through the stencil first. So you'll see me doing that. And then I'm kind of going to mask it off a little bit so that the pumpkins look like they're in front of the tree. And I'm just using a piece of paper and a little bit of Scotch tape to do that. I sure love the new fall stencils from Sean Petit, and I will leave a link below so that you can make a purchase if you would like. Here's that tree. This is not a new fall one. It's something that I had in my stash, and it is amazing. Now I'm going to do all the stenciling here, and I'm going to edit some of this out so you don't see how long it takes me. It takes me maybe about 15 minutes to get a real great impression, but I didn't want to bore you with that, but I still wanted you to see the cool reveal. Look at this. Wow! That is so neat. And there's how that pumpkin looks like it's sitting against that tree. So I just removed that piece of paper. Now I'm going to put down that bike. And this is a stencil that's made out of metal. I've had a long time, and it's from Dreamweaver. There's a little package on the back of the bike, and I didn't want that package to be there. So I'm using another piece of paper and some Scotch tape to cover it up so that I can block it out. Using my Archival ink in jet black, and I'm going to use another one of those makeup brushes. These brushes are amazing. They're game-changing. It's one of those things that you have in your stash and you'll use it over and over and over again. So it kind of pays for itself. Here I'm showing you how I'm going to make a stencil with these small leaf dies so that I can put the smaller leaves on the tree. But first I'm using some brown acrylic paint and a small brush, and I'm going to go over the tree so it doesn't look stenciled. And my brown wasn't dark enough, so I'm mixing some black acrylic paint with my brown, and it works much better that way. And what a beautiful, beautiful stencil this is. You can see how I'm just going over everything. Very fun. I like this technique, and it makes it just really, really come to life. Very relaxing too. I think that it's a fun thing to do. I'm gonna do the whole thing and come right back to you. And I edited that out. Now I'm gonna use that little cardboard stencil I made with those tiny leaf dies, and I'm going to put a little bit of colored paint through the stencil and put some leaves on that tree using my makeup sponge there. There's just a little tiny leaf, and it works great. I'm gonna do the whole thing here and speed it up. And now I'm just adding some of that same color that I did with the leaves down to the bottom, so it kind of looks like there's the shadow from the tree and maybe some leaves have fallen on the ground. I'm gonna shadow those pumpkins and also the bike, just using some of that brown and black paint mixed up, watering it down there. And can you see up on the right hand corner that water container I have? That is another game changer. I'll list it below in the description. It's really cool because it has 3 different compartments and they stack together, and you can keep your dirty water, your clean water, and your semi-dirty water all together. It's really a neat thing. Okay, back to the project. I'm just using the same color of paints, and I'm coloring a scrap paper that I had from the music sheet, and I am cutting the little leaves out from that piece of scrap paper. And now I'm adding all those little leaves to the tree so that it adds more dimension and depth. I'm adding the leaves down with matte medium, and it's quite a process, but very rewarding. Art can't be sped up like you can in the video. It takes time. It's all about the creating and the ideas that pop in. It's pretty cool. Look at those leaves. It's awesome. Now I need to do some shading, but here I had an idea of putting a little heart, like someone carved it into the tree, and then I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll put D plus L, so that would be Dan plus Lisa. My husband and I's initials, like we carved it into the tree. How fun. Those little details, though, are what makes a piece, an original. I'm filling in some brown for those creases in the pumpkin, using that same paint that I have over there on my paint palette. I have some close-up pictures, at the end of the video. So stay tuned and you'll see the close-ups of everything. It really turned out nice. I'm adding a couple of little dots to the bicycle and just little detail. Making sure that it's dry before I do this next step. I'm going to use some of that burnt umber acrylic paint, water it down, and I wanted to do a wash over the top. The blue in the background was looking a little bright for me, and I wanted it to mute it down to be a fall day, and this really did the trick. And it got in all of those little crevices with the leaves and did a lot of the shadowing for me with that brown paint and some water. Wiping it off with my towel and just covering the whole piece. It gets in the nooks and crannies, and it really adds dimension to the piece. Adding a little water there. My paint was a little thick. There, I think that looks much better. I'm going to use that brown Distress crayon to go around the edges a bit and give it a little more age. Here I used some stickers that I had in my stash to come up with the sentiment, and the sentiment says, "Embrace your time to wander." I think that it's very important to sometimes just take time for yourself, go wander around, and just thank God to be alive. I love the change of seasons. It makes me very thoughtful, and I reflect on relationships and people that I miss, and I'll see them again, but it's a great change of season. Just adding my charcoal pencil to my pumpkins, around the trees, adding that little definition and the shadows. Fun. I really like this part. You know that. I tell you it all the time. But I really do. It brings it all together. And then I have that white pencil in my other hand there. I'm adding highlights with that. And here you can see the piece. I did put that black marble crayon around the edge. And it just frames the piece. Well, we're almost done again for this week, and I'll have another piece for you again next week. Leave comments below and embrace your time to wander. Thanks for stopping at my channel. Have a great week.